welcome to this video. Together with Sasfin Bank, we've launched this survey to try and understand the impact that COVID-19 has on small businesses and small business owners in South Africa. And the results were fascinating, but I think also very shocking. And we realized that small businesses need a lot of help and support during this time. So together with Sasfin Bank, we've reached out to experts and compiled this video series to give answers to the many questions that small business owners have during this time, and also just some ideas or inspiration that you can apply in your own business.
So the first point I'd want to make is that, you know, at the best of times, being an entrepreneur is a very lonely and very high pressure career choice. Right now, it's even more lonely and even more high pressure. So I think the first thing I just want to say as a caveat to the other points is I'd really want to encourage you to look after yourself. Your mental health is going to be critical at this point in time, and your business is nothing if you're not able to get back into it in the best possible condition that you can be. You're going to need to make some tough calls over the next while, and some of those calls potentially will have a negative impact on your self-worth. You might feel bad or guilty, but everything that you do has got to work towards you looking after your own well-being, even if in the short term it feels like these are really tough calls to make. Ultimately, this business doesn't exist if you're not in a great place to run it. And you need to make sure that when the time comes when you are going to get busy again, you're in the best possible position to do so. The second thought I'd want to share with you is that we constantly talk as entrepreneurs around how much we wish we had the time to work on our businesses as opposed to being, not being able to see the wood for the trees in our businesses. This is a great opportunity to do that. This is a great opportunity to work on your business. And I use a very simple formula when I think about the types of things that I want to focus on when it comes to refining my business model, my business offering. And it's essentially start, stop, and continue. And I would suggest even get a notebook and scribble these things down. But every day, sit down and go, what is one simple thing I should start doing when I get back to the office? And that can be the most menial or superficial idea. I should start taking at least one walking meeting every day because I find them to be very productive. Whatever. I should stop getting to the office at 8:30 because I know that means I spend a little bit more time in traffic and it's not a productive use of my time. And then I should continue doing something that is working really well. Often in business we focus on all the things that aren't going well, but we don't really pour our energy into the things that are going well. So start, stop, and continue. And just scribble one idea down every day at the moment, and then when you get into the office, you can start implementing those. And I think that'll be really powerful, just on a very practical level. Not big things, small things. The next thought I wanted to share with you is maybe kind of more of a thought experiment. Is this idea of what is the most interesting way to solve the problem you already solved for your clients. And I'm good friends with the guys at Net Florist, and I hope they won't mind me sharing the story, but I know that they're a really great business, and they really think progressively and quite bravely about how to take on crises and opportunities to diversify. And they're in the position right now where there aren't a lot of people, or no people buying flowers. It's not exactly an essential service right now, but they knew that the strength that they had wasn't just gifting. The strength that they had was fulfillment, delivery. And they were like, how do we solve that problem potentially for other partners or for our customers that traditionally rely on us for gifting, but might be in a position to rely on us for something else, and have now got involved in delivering fresh fruit and veg and a number of other products. And those kinds of pivots are a testimony not only to the core values and your understanding of the core positioning of your business, but also your ability to understand the client's needs in any given moment. So, what is a really innovative way to solve the problem that you traditionally solve for clients, and how can you steer towards that as your doors start to open up and as clients start spending again? I know this is a tough time. I'm thinking of all of you. We're in this together. One thing that I think is very unique about South Africans is that we are incredibly resilient. Because of the complex circumstances that we operate our businesses in, we have had to learn to develop solutions in ways that the rest of the world hasn't necessarily. And I think that's going to stand us in good stead right now. You're not alone. We're all in this together. And in the same way that a rising tide lifts all ships, sometimes, an ebbing tide drops all ships. And at least it's something that we're all going through together. Reach out, connect, speak to people, read a book, come up with some great ideas. You're going to be okay, and stay happy and stay healthy.
The first thing is that we need to understand what people are going through. If we don't know where the pain points are and what the challenges are for people, we don't know how to solve those problems. We don't know how to create value. And if you don't create value, you can't charge someone a fee for a service or for a product. So the first thing is understanding what clients are going through and what their challenges are. And by doing that, I think it enables us to think a lot more about them and where they're at in the journey. And it enables us to maybe craft or diversify our business and the products and services we offer into things that could more acutely pinpoint the challenges and solve those problems for the small business. So definitely I would say the first thing is you've got to stop and actually just think about what are the clients who you traditionally have looked after going through, and do you need to change, and if so, how? Because how you've serviced them traditionally is perhaps not how you're going to service them going forward. So we probably need to look at, where are they at now and how might their businesses be changing and evolving over the next few months, and then start to think about how we position ourselves to solve for those challenges, and to create that value for which they're willing to pay a fee for.
The challenge now is that things are going to get a bit crazy, like with what's happening in the economy. Things are going to be very, very tight. And so for any business right now, I'm looking at my business and realizing that, I cannot just rely on one revenue stream. We have 30,000 odd customer base, but this is really pushing me to say you can't rely on one revenue stream. You have to be smart about how do you sort of diversify your revenue stream and still provide the service, like a value-added service to your customer. It's not even about when the lockdown is done, everything's going to be back to normal. It's not going to be back to normal. It could take the whole year. And so I think with that, it's, we've obviously been pushed now to say we can't just rely on Zenzele in the gym, but Zenzele has to be on people's doorsteps. And so it's how can we still be able to create value, great value, without actually the bricks and walls. No matter what happens as a business owner, at the same time you're having a positive mindset and trying to keep focus, regardless of this. That's what entrepreneurship is about. Ultimately, it's about resilience. So you can have all the numbers, everything, but if you don't have the confidence, the resilience, the faith, where it's no matter what, I can survive this. And it's only those that have, strong belief that they can survive are the people that usually survive. And if you think you can't survive, you've already lost the bet.
The first piece of advice would be to absolutely adopt e-commerce as the go-to strategy right now. Because if you're in an environment where you're selling in a physical store, your doors are shut right now. And previously you were relying on people walking past the shop and walking in. Now with that not being possible, you can open up yourselves to still get sales, and you can do that online. And when you do that online, you're not just waiting for people that walk past the door. You can sell to anybody right around the country, or heck, right around the world. And this is something that maybe you should have adopted previously, but now you absolutely have to adopt it so that you can still get your sales and you can still continue growing your business instead of just kind of waiting for the doors to be reopened once again. E-commerce is still inclusive of selling services online. So just the basic principle of having a website to promote yourself and your business and your services online still means that people can browse and find your site. And they can do that outside of your trading hours. They can read about you and what your services are. They can see your pricing. They can contact you. They might be able to even make a booking if you have that functionality on your site. And so there again, this is something that should definitely be, you should be adopting it. And certainly if you haven't done so already, this will fast track you. And in South Africa, with the lockdown situation, whether you can sell essentials or non-essentials right now, everything's changing day by day. But when the lockdown finishes, e-commerce, the growth that we're going to see in e-commerce is significant. We've already seen a big boom, and that's here to stay. So if you have been hesitating to move your business online, or at least to open up an online branch of your business, then now is absolutely the best time. In fact, it's not just a time where I'd recommend you do it. You have to be doing this. It really is something that you can do on your own. And I'd encourage somebody to come to our community, the Insaka e-commerce community on Facebook. There's 6,500 people just like you and me who are learning about selling online. And that's a great resource, a place where you can ask your questions. If you have a challenge, somebody else will help you with to find the answer. So this is something that you can do on your own, and you can pay somebody else a lot of money to do it if you really want to. But right now you might have the time, you might be looking to learn a new skill, or maybe you can't afford to pay a developer. Regardless of any of that, I'd still encourage that you try to do this on your own, because it is easier than you think.
Once you get an online inquiry during this time, and it doesn't even necessarily have to be an online inquiry, but try to immediately call that typical prospect and speak to them personally. Don't just send out a quotation and without adding some personal touch. People are sensitive at this point in time. They are reluctant to spend money, even though people need to continue doing business to survive. But just to remember to still be human. One of the things is also, don't approach the meeting, the online meeting that you're going to have, or the person that you're going to speak to, don't approach it as if you're going to sell to that person, but rather approach them as if you want to educate them about your product and service. If you follow that typical rule, instead of just directly trying to sell to someone, but you want to educate them and build a relationship, the sales will follow.
I hope this video inspired you and gave you some ideas to keep pushing through this really tough time. I think there are really some important insights that we got from these experts in this video. Number one is to really take care of yourself and to keep a positive mindset. This is key to finding clever solutions and staying afloat in the moment. And then two, to really think about what your customers' problems are and to see how you can use your own skills and assets to serve them better. Lockdown is so demanding on us, and it forces us to be resourceful and to keep finding ways to serve others and to stay in business. And then finally, three, get on your phone with your customers, listen to what their pain points are, and use this time to build those relationships carefully. Don't let lockdown be an excuse to stop communicating from everyone in your business. That's it, guys. Stay safe and stay tuned in, as we'll be back with more videos like this very soon. Good luck.